Jadeveon Clowney is back. I think it's a great thing, man. And that was one of the keys on defense is getting that guy back.
Yeah.
And with him and Myles Garrett, I think those two can really be the core of that defense and get them guys motivated from the front line.
Yeah, and you talk about, we've talked about it all offseason long, especially with the Browns trading for Deshaun Watson, how many good quarterbacks are in the AFC that if the Browns want to go where they have to go, they're going to have to face the likes of Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Russell Wilson now in division, Burrow, Lamar. Here's your kryptonite to all of those good quarterbacks. And I know you know it as well as anyone, but if you could get after those guys, if you could rattle those guys, hell, we saw it with Joe Burrow in the Super Bowl, and you could take away their time in the pocket. It makes a world of difference for a defense. So Jadeveon Clowney being back is huge. The one thing I really wanted to ask you, obviously having played on that defensive line and on good defenses before when you were in Cleveland, the Browns defense was awesome at the end of last year, and it was the quarterback play and the offense that actually couldn't keep up with the defense's production. Now that Jadeveon Clowney's back, it seems like a lot of the key guys on this defense are back. Is that going to be easy to kind of copy paste last year's success into a new season? Even though there will be a few new faces, they're going to have to get reacclimated. But should it be just as easy as, okay, you got Clowney back, you got Garrett back, you have JOK at linebacker, you have Denzel Ward running around in the secondary. This should be a really good defense again. Is it that easy though?
It's a lot better because it's not easy, but just another year under your belt with the same defense is always better than learning a whole new defense in the offseason. So these guys, they know the playbook. They just got to brush up on the new plays and maybe new techniques that coach add in for certain plays. But other than that, man, it's just getting back into football and putting them pads on and getting the cobwebs off. And I think they'll be good.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder. Here's the thing that I wonder is how easy that transition is going to be to the next year, because we saw at the beginning of last season, it took a little time for the defense. And you and I both at the beginning of when we started doing this show, kind of beginning of last NFL season, we were unsure about Joe Woods as a whole. And we were like, man, we don't know, is this guy, what is he doing? But then at the end of the year, he really came into his own. So I hope it doesn't take, 8 games, 9 games for them to really find their footing. And it would be fun if right off rip against Carolina, if Garrett could have a big day, Clowney could have a big day, and kind of hit the ground running off rip.
I think they can because, last year was more newer defense for them. And so this year, man, I think they'll be, on the ball a lot quicker. You know what I mean? They look a lot better early on.
Yes, and then with that, there also were a lot of reports this weekend after Jadeveon Clowney signed that he actually had multi-year offers on the table, $14 million, $15 million. He settled for a 1-year, $11 million deal with the Browns on a little bit of a discount to play next to Myles Garrett. And so obviously, Jadeveon Clowney taking that discount deal, he's hoping and expecting big things out of this defense.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is a situation where a player is betting on himself. You know what I mean? And by him doing this is just after this year, he's back at the table again. You know what I mean? Instead of doing a multi-year deal, he's back at the table, and hopefully with a great year, and with him and Myles, he should be able to double that next year.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, so you're thinking like obviously we don't know for sure, we're not in Jadeveon Clowney's head, but you're thinking in theory the thought process is, all right, let me go out here on this 1-year $11 million next to being a bookend with Myles Garrett, one of the best pass rushers in the league. I'm a former number 1 overall pick myself. Let me go out here and get 11, 12, 13 sacks, stay healthy, 15 of the 17 games, and then go really cash in on a 3-year, 45 million or something like that. Yep. Is that kind of the thought process you think?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think it can be done.
It's cool for me, Phil, I got to say, as a fan, to see over the last couple of years, Jadeveon Clowney now takes a pay cut. Nick Chubb took a little bit of a pay cut, in comparatively to what running backs were getting. It's cool to me as a fan to see that those guys are kind of buying into the team, buying into the culture, buying into the city, and they want to be a part of this. I know for sure they probably don't think that, especially with some of the uncertainties with Deshaun Watson, that this season is going to be surefire Super Bowl, but I think they understand that the Browns are slowly slowly shaking the cobwebs of being that awful downtrodden organization where players go to die. And instead, if you could take a team-friendly deal so we could keep stacking talent here, it could be some special stuff.